Damaged and have to be repaired.
Well, as dawn breaks this morning then, Governor, you've given us a fairly lengthy laundry list. What are your priorities?
Our priorities obviously are human safety, to do everything necessary to safeguard people's lives, whether that's infants in neonatal intensive care and hospitals that have had to be closed and the babies transferred, to trying to get people out of buildings that have collapsed. It's human safety, and after that, the restoration of services.
At this point, Governor, are you satisfied that the federal government is doing everything possible that it can?
They have been very helpful to date. The Highway Administrator and Secretary of Transportation are out here. They've been collaborating with local officials so that we can let contracts for the demolition of the parts of the very severely structurally damaged freeways, and they're helping in other ways. The FEMA administrator is out here. We will be working to set up the disaster centers so that the victims can get the temporary shelter and assistance they need, and also apply for the loans.
Although it's premature to get a damage estimate, I think it's safe to say that it's going to exceed $1 billion. Yesterday morning we had a chance to talk with the Speaker of your Assembly, Willie Brown, who talked of the possibility of a special quarter-cent sales tax that would be used, targeted specifically to help defray the cost of cleaning up this disaster. Could such a tax have your blessing?
Well, I think we're going to have to see first what the magnitude of the damage is, what the assistance is. A lot of the transportation damage, that is the structural damage to the freeways and the cost of replacement, we can get under federal law a tremendous amount of assistance there. It's premature to make that judgment, Bryant. We'll have to see what's required and what's available.
A lot of Easterners, Governor, are looking at California this morning and wondering what happened. In the last 2 years, you've had the uprising in South Central, the devastating brush fires, resulting floods, and now this. Does it seem to you as if there's a plague on your state?
Seems to me that we've been getting a lot more than our share, and I think the people of this state have deservedly won admiration. They've won my admiration and gratitude. They are a remarkably resilient people. They've been through a hell of a lot, the things that you just described, and we will get through this too. They're very resilient, but it does seem that they've had more than their share.
Governor Pete Wilson, you're a busy man. I imagine you've had very little sleep. Thanks for getting up early and joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Brian.
It's 7:12. We're back in just a moment with some stories of survival after we take a break. On a Tuesday morning, this is Today on NBC. On this special edition of Today, we're obviously rearranging the deck chairs in order to focus on the day after the earthquake, but there is other news going on in the world, and for that, let's go to Matt Lauer. Matt, good morning.
Brian, thanks. Obviously, few stories compare in importance to what's going on in California, but we do want to bring you up to date. If you are east of the Rocky Mountains, there's almost no escaping the snow, ice, and bone-chilling winds being carried by an Arctic blast from northern Canada. How cold is it? Well, NBC's Dawn Fratangelo has the answer.
It is unbearably cold, even by Windy City standards. A record-breaking wind chill as low as 80 below in many parts of the Midwest. The temperatures are life-threatening, especially for the homeless who've been piling into shelters like this one in Chicago.
We always have the regulars, those that we can count on being here, but with cold weather, we are seeing new faces. We're seeing the faces of little children, too.
Ice sent Minneapolis skidding.
Just extremely slippery. The exhaust is refreezing on the surface, and it's causing a lot of accidents.
A record snowfall of 16 inches crippled Louisville.
Trying to help everybody I can out here right now.
And on a snowy highway north of Albany, New York, 23 people were injured in a pileup. Snow and freezing rain have closed schools from Missouri to Pennsylvania and delayed or canceled flights at more than a dozen major airports. It has been a brutal season, with winter delivering one wallop after another. This latest storm could be the most dangerous and deadliest yet. Dawn Fratangelo, NBC News, Chicago.